Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd and our Charmed Season 4 series premiere. Technically season premiere. It's interesting. It is interesting. I got some stuff to talk about, but I'm just going to get the elephant that sits literally in my room out of the room, okay? You guys know I stopped doing the Batwoman, reviews. And yesterday, I even joked about the fact that, one of the CW tropes is they like to have everybody that, most of the people that get abandoned and are orphans are usually abandoned at a fire station. And, of course, they said that Michaela, we know her name is Michaela, was abandoned in a fire station. I am hoping, because she was adopted by a Ghanaian family, that she has a home. And that this child is not, as my spouse would like to say, living in an extended version of a van like Ryan Wilder was in Batwoman, because it really looks like Michaela lives out of a bus the way Ryan Wilder in Batwoman was living out of a van. The only difference is Ryan had a plant and it was a van, and Michaela has a bus and art supplies. Please tell me they're not doing that shit. I mean, please tell me they're not copying that shit. Like, Mufasa. All right, so our newest charm one, she's very charming. Her name, she goes by Kayla. I'm very interested in her friend Bryn. I want to know how they met. Like, they seem to be very, very close. I'm hoping this is not going to be something where we only saw Bryn in the season 1 premiere or season 4 episode 1 premiere, and then we never see her again, because that'll suck, especially if she doesn't relocate her entire life to Seattle to be with them. But she's a cancer survivor being in remission for 5 years. She was working for a guy named Sal at his auto garage, because every movie, every TV show, Sal is either the owner of some rundown auto garage or a diner. I don't know what it is, but that is the trope for that name, Sal. So of course, Sal's an appropriate name. And she has a lot of medical bills, like debt. And I love that they said that, but I also thought it was extremely funny where she quit her job for her art, which is great. But, Bryn's like, well, what are you going to do about, for money? And I was thinking, don't worry about it, Bryn, because in the CW, you don't need money because you can not work at all and still pay all your bills. It's fine. She'll be all right. I mean, she'll have money for gas, food, and everything, all the essentials without ever having to go to work, because that is something that happens in the CW. But I just thought it was really funny that they discussed that for like a microsecond, because, And then in this episode, Maggie actually needed to have Mel co-sign to get an apartment. And I'm like, that girl don't make enough to co-sign for you. You need to make 3 times that amount, But you know what? It's fine. I just suspend my disbelief a lot when it comes to bills and money and the CW land. All right. So let's just briefly talk about what's been going on with the people of Charm since Macy died. Harry is in his feelings. He is half-assing his lighter, basically he kind of shifted it to Jordan, to be real. He's not doing anything. He's just mourning the loss of Macy, and he doesn't really give 5 shizzes on anything that's happening. He doesn't care. Case in point, so Maggie and Jordan are off being their best Buffy, and Angel remakes are basically Phoebe and Cole in the OG series. When they start fighting demons, they're basically doing the exact same thing, kicking demon ass. And they come across this tiny little creature that looks like a Tribble in Star Trek, is a little Zombazara. And they're supposed to be this docile, little creatures, but this one had teeth and bit the shit out of Jordan's finger. And so, when he talks about it, Megan's like, that's weird. They're not really aggressive. And even Harry was like, well, they don't even have teeth. And, Jordan's like, well, this one has teeth, so should we check this out? And Harry's like, you can do it. And he walks away, because that's Harry. So Harry is not doing well. Maggie and Jordan, I guess they're together because they did have a kiss thing going on. And we've established that Maggie likes her. I don't know if they've actually said what their relationship is, but again, this is Maggie and Jordan. They've been playing this game for a season or 2, so it is what it is. But he does have healing ability. Like I said, he's not a white lighter. He doesn't know what he is. And we don't know what he is either. So this goes back to what I said yesterday in my theory video. Why is he so predisposed to having magical powers? because just being zapped or potentially dying, he was not brought back as a white lighter. I don't think he's a Cupid. What is he? So Jordan still has that big fat question mark. He can heal. That is his power. He is a healer. And I knew that's what it was going to be because he's a medic and he is literally their psychiatrist. So I feel like it's appropriate, but I don't know why. I don't know what their plans are for Jordan right now, but I know they have them. I just don't know what it is. So I'm really curious to see what Jordan's journey is going to look like throughout this entire season. So I'm very, very, very curious about that. Mel has been hoeing. She's been sleeping with everybody at this club called the Blue Chameleon or Camellia, I believe it's called. I love it. There's a doorman named Duncan, and like if he doesn't like you or you just need to leave, he like literally blows a candle out, and then you're just sent back to wherever you came from. And to get there, you have a little match pack. Then you just like light a match, and then I guess it forms a candle while you're there, and then it's an exclusive magical patron bar. I'm here for it. I think it's very, very cool. But yeah, I think at this point, Mel has probably slept with everybody female in that bar. Like to the point where, the owner of the bar basically said, hide your women when Mel Vera's here. That's pretty sad. All right. So basically Maggie and basically Mel, they're very, very, there's like a distance between them, which is interesting again, because if you really think about it, these were the two sisters that were raised together, and their sister dying basically made it so they can't even function around each other, which is kind of sad, but I mean, it's kind of believable because understandably, they really weren't a sister bond to begin with. These girls never spent any time together in the previous season. So, I mean, it is what it is. The sisterhood was not like, it's not as strong as it should be because they were very rarely ever together. And that is a season 2 and season 3 F up in the writing. So I'm hoping, even though we don't know who Kayla is, and I'll get to that in a second. We don't know if she's related or not. We have some clues that something's going down, but we don't know for sure, if she's actually a family member or not. But I just think it's very, very sad that these two sisters, again, who were actually raised together long before they realized they were even witches, are not strong enough as sisters to stay together when their sister that they, obviously loved, but only met a few years ago, 3 years ago, basically, died. So what kind of sisterhood bond did you have that you can't even, you know what I mean? And I understand, as somebody who's been through lots of grief and lost family members and a spouse before, I understand how grief will affect you. But I mean, I just thought that was pretty bad. If your sisterhood between the two of you is not strong enough, and it takes you meeting a stranger to make you feel like you can talk to each other and be bonded again, that's really sad. I'm just throwing that out there. So you obviously need to do a lot more soul searching and maybe some family counseling. Just putting it out there. But yeah, Maggie was going to leave. Mel didn't fight for her. They're both in their feelings. They're both handling the grief in completely different ways. And then we have Kayla, who is having dreams about them, sketching, them in her sketchbook. She basically is painting out images of them. And then one day, Maggie decides, I'm going to go demon hunting by myself, because that's always smart. And so she goes to the command center and she finds that there's a demon in Mexico City. So she's going to go to Mexico. But whenever she tries to go, it starts taking her to Philadelphia. And no matter what she does, it goes right back to Philadelphia. So she's like, well, screw it. Let's go to Philadelphia. And so she goes. And when she gets there, Mel gets pretty much sent there too. I guess she came from the club. And it brought her to the same location. And then they start arguing, and then Maggie goes into the street, and then of course Kayla's magical school bus almost runs her down. And it's like, at first she's like, Michaela's like, what the hell, why are you walking in front of traffic, which is kind of stupid. And then she's like, wait a minute, it's you. And then Mel notices that there is a charmed symbol on the side of her bus. And they're like, it's you. And she's like, what the hell? Which, understandably. So they're basically trying to talk to her, trying to get her to come with them. And then they start talking, and she's like, she needs a minute. Then she goes on the bus, and one of her paintings, which had one of the little command center black marbles in it, the marble rolls out of the painting. And the first thing I thought in my mind was, yes, it's manifestation powers. But I thought, oh my God, she's the reverse Clary from Shadowhunters. Whereas if you know what I'm talking about, and you've read, basically City of Bones or any of the the Claire, I can't always mess her name up. I need the book series for the Mortal Instruments, Cassandra Clare, sorry. Then you will know that there is a character named Clary, and they also did a television show and a movie, that Shadowhunters movie, or Shadowhunters television show, and then City of Bones movie, where her ability was she could take an object and put it into any canvas, like, or any sketchbook that's around, or really any book, and then she's able to reach in and pull it out. Well, Michaela is able to do it with her artwork, even though she's unconsciously doing it because she doesn't even realize she has powers. So she's able, whatever she dreams up, I don't know if it's just limited to art, because I don't think it is. I think it's actually going to transform beyond that. But for now, we're seeing it through her sketches because she's an artist. And so anything that she draws comes to life. So she's a manifestation witch, which is interesting. I think it's really interesting. But she's pretty much the reverse of Clary from Shadowhunters. That's all I'm saying about that. So when she goes to the command center, because it sends her there, she starts noticing that everything in the room is basically what she drew. So she's like, what the hell? So she freaks out. She opens up her sketchbook to a picture of like a plate of fruit, which is interesting. And she puts it down, and then she leaves, and then she goes and meets Harry. And I'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to tell you something that I'm going to nitpick about Josefina. So Josefina's been there, like, the whole time, trying to take care of the girls, trying to make sure that they're okay before she goes back to Puerto Rico, which is, a good cousinly thing to do. She's trying to get them all to go to like this pixie coming out, like, ceremony where a pixie gets their wings for the first time. And I already knew something was going to happen when she mentioned that, and she invited Jordan. So Jordan was going to, meet her there. So Josefina, who's usually pretty intelligent, goes to the command center because she's going to meet Jordan there. She was 15 minutes late. She sent him a text saying she was late. She sees this apple that came out of the canvas that Michaela left. And so for some reason, I don't know why, she didn't read Snow White. She didn't see videos on not just eating stuff that people laid around without washing it off or asking whose it is. I don't know what it was. This girl decided to bite this damn apple, and it turned her into paper. I'm like, not only did it turn her into paper, the rest of the canvas became negative space and was attacking them. And I thought that was funny as hell. I don't know why. It was a cool visual effect, but it was very, very funny. To make matters worse, there's a scene where Maggie rips off her arm when they're trying to teleport away from the negative space, and they can't get to the portal. They can't get to the door to get out of the command center. So of course, Mel uses her magic blue camellia, pack to get them away. And so Maggie like grabs Josefina's arm, and when they teleport, it's just the arm that came with it. And when they came back to fight the negative space, Maggie legit stapled her arm back on. I don't even know what to say. All I know is, Josefina, I'm sorry, girl. I don't know what to say about these women. I apologize. All right. So the scene where Harry meets Michaela is cool. She's making herself a drink, and he's like, oh, hey, you new? And she's like, no, I don't work here. And he's like, I just needed a drink. So she's haul ass stealing alcohol in a place she's never been before. So that's ace. And then he's like, you're drinking before 11 o'clock. And of course she's like, the look on her face was like, what the hell's wrong with you? Which, to be fair, is somebody who is half British, who has an uncle who lives in the UK, or actually is on his way to go to like work or church or to visit relatives, and ends up in the pub all day starting at 9 a.m. That tracks with me. I don't understand why Harry did not understand that alcohol was drunk in the morning. just throwing that out there. But he's like, let me make you a cuppa. So he makes her tea, and she's like, oh, you have great technique. And I'm like, bitch, he's British. I'm sorry. It just popped into my head. And then she starts talking about how her father makes tea, basically. I think she called him Ajaya or Aja. I think it's Aja. And because he's a Ghanaian family, the whole family, I think, actually adopted her. So again, we don't know what she is, because Harry decides to take it upon himself to investigate her because he's in his feelings about losing, Macy. And he's like, I'm not accepting her. So I'm going to go figure out who this bitch is, basically. So he goes to Philadelphia and he talks to Sal and he's like, yeah, I got this car and I heard this girl, or you had somebody named Michaela. She can look at my car, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh no, she's on vacation. I don't even know why Sal didn't just say that she, was, she quit. He's like, no, she's on vacation. So maybe he still thinks he's going to bring her back. I don't know. But somehow he looked at something and he was like, well, that's interesting. And then he just all of a sudden had her birth certificate and all of this information about her. And I think what he probably saw was her name was Michaela. It was probably written on the thing in there. And so when he looked her up, which is very interesting to me, we started seeing information about her birthday, which, by the way, Sagittarius. She was born December 11th. I'm December 8th. So we got another Sagittarius in the house. But it said December 11th, 1995. And it said she was surrendered to the Philadelphia fire station. And it said that the parents were her mother was Jane Doe, and there was no listing for the father. Now, I know a lot of people immediately were like, damn it, Marisol. Like, close your legs, girl. But we don't know, because the showrunners did say, and they could be lying, but they did say they were not going to make Marisol the person that got this girl to be a charm one. They were not going to make her so damn slutty and promiscuous that she was popping babies out left and right, even though her daughters right now still think it's possible, which is not. You really think about it, could this be another secret love child for mom? I'm like, damn. I still don't think it's Marisol's kid. I don't. I'm still holding out for her being a charm one from an alternate timeline. I'm holding out for maybe this being Macy and Harry's future child that Mel was being a surrogate for, and maybe something went down in the future and then she came back in time and she knew she couldn't give it to the charm ones, so she surrendered the child to keep it safe in Philadelphia. So this actually could be Macy's kid and Harry's kid, which would be, for me, freaking cool. Just born out of time. Could be again an alternate reality, our previous charmed one. There's lots that, there's so many different theories that I have for this, but I do not think that this is Marisol. If this is Marisol's secret baby again, I give up. I give up, because then that means the originality is out the fucking door. So I do not believe that this is Marisol's baby. I don't care what it's looking like. I do not think that this is Marisol's daughter. But I do think she could be related to them, and it could be a cousin, another cousin. It could be anything. But I really would love it if it was something like, her being a displaced charmed one and doesn't have memory of it, or her being from an alternate timeline, have a whole Naomi thing happening where the parents took her to this earth to keep her safe from where she was, and she was a charm one on that one, or something like that, something to that effect. But I refuse to believe that this is Marisol's kid. I am not subscribing to that. And if it turns out to be Marisol's kid, again, I'm going to say it is bad writing. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it, and therefore that's what it will be. But she is somehow connected to them, and that is a thing, and we can't deny it. So the whole thing with the Pixies and, so like in the Pixie ceremony, the girl, her name was Anne, the younger sister, was getting her wings for the first time, and she put an offering and said a prayer in the box. And then she ended up getting evil bat wings. And her sister at the end of the episode asked her to say, because the sister was like, well, I was worried about not getting wings. And so I made a deal with this guy. And he told me if I just take this red chip that he offered me, which is the same chip that Jordan found when he got bit earlier by our little tribble. That's what I'm calling it, because it's a tribble. She put it in the box, and then she got the bat wings. And then her sister was like, well, tell me who it was. And she's like, I can't, because he said if I said anything, then, basically bad shit would happen. And I knew she was going to die. I knew if she even mentioned it or wrote it down, she was going to die. And sister was like, well, no, just write it down. That way you're not really saying it. And she does. And then blood pouring out her eyes and mouth. I don't know if she's actually dead, but I think she's dead. But his name is the Tally Man. So this is our big baddie. He is somebody who's taking these little red chips and making docile magical creatures into violent monsters. And so I'm not sure what the end game is for this, but that is what we're facing. But I was just so effing happy that we got to see a ceremony, like an actual pixie ceremony, and pixies and other magical effing creatures that we should have been seeing in the past 2 seasons. So I have faith and hope that we're going to have a demon of the week or a magical creature of the week, maybe leading up to Tallyman. I don't know. But I have faith that this is what's going to happen. There's already some chick looking for Michaela in the preview for next week. So I'm already trying to figure out what's going on with that. And I did notice that Maggie's hair was straight again. I don't know what's going on with that either. But I'm just putting my hope out, my hope juju out that this means that we're going to get our monsters, our demons, our magical creatures of the week back, which is what I loved about season 1 and what I've not seen in 2 or 3. Please, please let it be that we're going to have that, because I was so excited to see, just references and magical creatures, in this episode. So I'm happy, and I will continue to be happy if that is what that is. But yeah, everything from them, turning blue with the power. When they first turned blue, I was thinking of the Last Dragon. I'm the master. I was like, I don't know what it is. It was just that special effect. Just kind of cracked me up. But them becoming the power, or basically becoming the charm ones again, and having the power of 3 back was very cool. They really did play off, though, not being able to talk about Macy dying. Like, even when Maggie was like, our sister died 6 months ago, and you see her and Mel's faces, and it's just like, you can actually see that they are tore up, which is a lot different than OG Charm when only Piper looked tore up when Prue died, and Phoebe was like, meh. I'm like, whatever. I only look sad when the script tells me to. So I did like that they are both really affected by it, even though honestly they were not as close as sisters as the OG ones was. So it's very, very weird. And for me, Michaela is definitely, so with Macy was kind of a Prue and Paige hybrid, only because Prue was always with the original Charm sisters, but she was the telekinetic and the more mature one, the more logical thinking one. So Macy had all that going on, but she also came in like Paige as the sister that they didn't know they had. So she kind of fulfilled both the Prue and the Paige role, but Kayla is actually more like Paige. So, and I'm here for it. I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, I like Lucy Barrett's portrayal of Michaela. So I'm very excited to see when we learn a little bit more about her, because we've only gotten 1 episode. So we still have no idea. She is a question mark. She doesn't even know who she is. I love that she didn't believe in magic. I love the Harry Potter, references, and basically a hocus pocus reference. She was throwing all the witch tropes in there because she was like, you guys are nuts. This is a cult, which is completely logical. I love Mel saying, well, we just need to take her back and convince her like Harry did us, except for tying her to a chair in the attic. And Maggie's like, I'm sure that's called kidnapping. So I'm very interested to see how they get her to join, because I already knew she was leaving at the end of this one. And from some of the previews they showed in the trailer, the season 4 trailer, she's very reluctant to be around them. She don't want anything to do with that. I'm like, you know what? I don't blame her. So it's a thing. So I don't know where we're going to get from that, but now we do have a manifestation witch. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't see more of Mel. Does Mel have her original power still? I know nothing they did against the pretty much a negative space would have worked, as a physical attack. But I really wish that they had shown us if she is able to stop time again, or if she's able to combust, things like Piper could, or, what is her ability? Is she still, Elsa and Firestorm? I mean, what are her abilities? I'm very curious, because we did see the Inception power that Maggie had, where she was able to calm Michaela down in this episode, but we didn't really see a lot from Mel. So I'm confused. I don't know what her power. I wish we actually got that. I really hope they don't do this thing where we show one person's power, we can't show them all, because that's going to piss me off. So yeah, but in a nutshell, good episode. It does make me want a Zambazara plushie or Tribble, because I'm telling you, it's a damn Tribble from Star Trek. It also has me extremely curious about Jordan. It has me curious about, if we're going to see Brynn, because I really want Brynn to be a playable character in this. I'm hoping baby Swan is still around. We're still at safe space, but I didn't see Swan, and I'm worried about that. A Swan just gonna be gone? Like, I was so hoping. I'm used to Swan just being everywhere, and Harry was like in safe space, and where the hell was Swan? So I'm hoping that she's not gone. So I mean, that's gonna have me in my feelings because we need baby Swan back, and Swan should be running safe space. So just throwing that out. But yeah, like the episode. I do see you guys are throwing in so lots of comments. So I'm gonna roll over to that right now, and then we'll just take it from there. So sorry, I'm scrolling, guys. Old eyes. Okay, I know. Yes, the Power of Three is back, baby. Yes, it is. Well, we knew the Power of Three was going to be back, or there wouldn't be a season 4. But to be fair, though, season 2 had a lack of the Power of Three for almost the whole damn season. So forget that. I'm going with a conjurer kid in magic school, like in season 6, are the projection, like the kid that became an elder in season 5 and gave them comic book superhero powers. I mean, honestly, manifestation are basically to manifest something. I think is the ability to what's the definition? Anything that you desire or want, and in your life, you can bring into reality or experience it in reality. So via like your thoughts. And so anything that she thinks actually can come true. That's literally part of it. So that's actually a very scary power to have. Like, if you really just visualize somebody dead, they might croak. I mean, that's a scary power to have. And I don't know if touching them when she almost hit Maggie and they all like grabbed each other, and they had got that kind of lightnings, kind of hit. I don't know if that awoke her powers and they were bound. Maybe somebody binded her powers when she was a baby, and then meeting the 2 charmed ones woke them up. I mean, that's what happened with Paige. So I mean, it's highly likely. Just like I love that they think that Macy had a hand in bringing them all together, which could have been Macy controlling the command center and sending them to different places and being like she's gonna be like Guinan from Captain Planet. She's gonna like pop up and be like, the power is yours. And I'm gonna die laughing. But yeah, I think that it's gonna be cool. I like her powers, and she still, to me, she has the reverse of Clary's powers in Shadowhunters. They use different names for powers from the OG. It kills me. I hate foresight. Just say premonitions, and I guess they are using the accurate term for her power, but I still like the OG terms. I think they just need to be different. They try to differentiate themselves from the OG show as much as possible. So I get why they do it. Wasn't there a cartoon or anime where the dude had powers? So I put Jake from Adventure Time. I know had something similar to that. There's a lot. There are comic book characters that have manifestation powers, and they're pretty OP. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Ruining these dang coins. This is not supernatural. What? Girl, if they do Marisol like this again with this girl. I said the same damn thing. Like, she is not. Her but JJ did not pump that many babies out secretly. I refuse to believe that Marisol had that much time on her hands. I just, I'm not doing it. They better not throw Marisol on the bus like that. Because I mean, honestly, the only thing that Marisol contributed to these girls was having them. That's what it feels like. And I mean, I need that not to be the thing. So, hello, Mr. JTV. How are you doing? I was solid on my hypothesis. Which one? CW using their the Vampire Diary special effects. Of course they gonna use that shit. They got sold. They don't got any money. Man, come on now. I mean, let's be real here. Ray, Charm wouldn't be Charmed if they didn't use Marisol as a scapegoat for everything. I don't want her to be a scapegoat. Guys, I will be in my feelings. You will know in my review that I will be in my feelings if they make Marisol her mother. I will be so mad because that is such a cop-out. And there's, if you're going to introduce a new character in a new way that's never been done before, then do that. Because having her come in as another baby of Marisol has been done before. So just putting that out there. Again, I'm still in my feelings about her living in our bus. Because if she's living in that damn bus with her art supplies, just like Ryan Wilder and Batwoman was living in a van with a plant, that is not right. Stop stealing shit from other shows, especially stuff that does not make any sense. So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm hoping that her parents actually love her, and her adopted family lets her stay with them, unless they're not. I mean, they could be dead. It didn't seem like her father was dead the way she was talking. But I mean, again, we don't know. But she did tell her best friend, I may not be rich, but at least I have you to fall back on. So I don't know what that means if she has a family. And if this is her 5-year cancer remission party and her family wasn't there, I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what's going on with the adopted family. So I think there's a lot more about her we don't know yet. So, which is fine. This is just episode 1. I do generally like the character a lot. I thought it was really funny that Harry was on her real Instagram page, because if you look at her IG page, those pictures were from Lucy Barrett's actual Instagram page when he was doing his little research. I know this because if you watch The Bold Type, Aisha D is rumored to be her girlfriend. Both of them are mixed girls from Australia, and they're on each other's Instagram all over the place, even looking like they're making out. So I don't know if that means that this character is going to be queer, if she's going to be ace, if she's going to be, heterosexual. I have no idea where her sexual orientation is going to be. I'm interested to see what they do, but I have no idea. They can go either way with this one, and especially since I think in real life she's queer. At least that's what it looks like if she actually is dating Aisha D. Just putting that out there. But yeah, I love that he was on her IG page. I thought that was really, really realistic, because he's like looking at her birth certificate and blah, blah. I'm like, the girl has an IG page, and I knew it was her IG page because there's like really blonde, like bleach blonde locks on one of her pictures. And it's one of them that's on her actual IG page. And so now it's got me questioning a lot of stuff. How many IG pages have we seen in CW? And it's actually theirs. I mean, it's really good self-promotion if you really think about it. So now everybody's going to run to her Instagram and then starts, following her. So good job, Harry. Good looking out on social media. Let's see here. Da-da-da-da. So she's an artist just like Paige was. Yeah. So Paige did art and was a social worker originally, and then went to temp work, and then became like professor, whatever, at magic school. And then we have Michaela, who is a mechanic and an artist, and she does street art. So yeah, I mean, I like it. I think it's cool. Adopted just like Paige, but we just don't know who her parents are. Yep, that's why we don't know what her ethnicity is. I'm curious. I really am curious how they're going to tie her in. I know what she is in real life because she's half black, half white from Australia. And she did a really good job for the most part hiding her Australian accent. There are just a few times it kind of came out a little bit, but it wasn't bad. So I didn't have too much of a problem with it. And again, this was her first episode. So, I mean, this is probably early on in her, getting into this role. So she'll probably get a lot better later on. So not everybody could be House, when he came in and like literally convinced everybody casting the show House that he was American and he was British. So, not everybody's got it. I'm going to do a petition, Justice for Marisol, and the mileage she placed on her box. Girl, how are you an elder, Sarkana, mother, professor, and activist with this much mileage? I'm telling you, I am not falling for that. I do not believe that Marisol is that slutty. I'm sorry. Even though her daughter is kind of following in her footsteps a little bit, she is sleeping with these women and ghosting it. And guys, Ruby, they are broken up. And Mel is not talking about it. And I don't know if she's ever going to talk about it. If this is how they're going to get rid of Ruby, that is messed up. Like, they were a U-Haul relationship to begin with, but like, cause most of their progress was happened off screen. We just kind of saw the aftermath, but like, you mean to tell me that you had this whole relationship, like, that you tried to throw on us? Not her and Abigail, which is who I thought she had the most chemistry with. You had her with Ruby, sweet woman, very attractive woman, but boring as hell. And then you just get rid of her like she was never fucking there. Like, oh, Mel, what happened with Mel and Ruby? I don't know. And she just changes the subject. And I'm like, wow. Okay. There you go. Maybe she had a premonition and decided to have a bunch of kids as backup. Just kidding. I mean, you know what? With the way that show was written in season 2 and 3, that could be probable, but I really don't want that to be the case. I need Marisol to not be her mama. And I don't know a reason why she would have gave that kid up. And then who's the daddy? Questions. I think that Kayla was created by the Guardian or past Charmers because they knew they needed a backup. Yeah. I mean, it would be really messed up if she was just not really a concept and this is all just a fabricated thing. Like the birth certificate's fake, all of it's fake. She didn't exist. She maybe was just created 5 years ago or whatever, or 6 months ago. And then she has this whole backstory and all these people are in her life that aren't actually real. That would be so messed up, though. Again, I really like her BFF and her and Bryn. I don't know. They are BFFs, but I don't know if there's more to them or not, which I think is an interesting concept too. But, it is what it is. That damn van. I'm telling you, that's what River was like. It's a bus. It's like an extended van. Ryan Wilder. I was like, CW cannot do all original stuff. Come on now. They better not have her living in that damn bus. They better not. They better not. Love the first episode. Yes, it was actually one of the better season premieres that we've seen on Charm. So I was very happy with it. But I just had to call some shit out because it's what I do. Yep, great first episode. It was nice to see Chloe again. Yeah. Kayla is amazing. I seriously love her already. She's actually becoming even right now one of my favorite characters. I love how she reacts to stuff. I think it's very organic. And I like it. It's not forced. She literally was legit like, oh, so you guys are saying magic is real. Well, damn. I'm a real girl. Michaela Demso is bisexual. Love the LGBT plus representation on Charm. Okay, so she's like me. Cool. She's mixed like me and bi. Biracial, bisexual, but all cool. Just saying. All kick ass. I love her too. She is so relatable to me. Yeah, Michaela is a cool character. Now, if I were a Charm, this would be my persona on things, and then Mel. I would like if these women came up to me and said, "Hey, I need you to come to Seattle with me because you're a witch." I'd be like, "At 911." I'm like, "You bitch crazy." Like, we're gonna call some help for you. They're gonna put nice little jackets on you, and they're gonna take you away. CW income issues never fails. Because they don't need income in any show. They don't need it in any CW show, from regular TV shows to the Arrowverse. You do not need a job. I am convinced of this. In real life, you would die. You would starve to death. You would freeze to death. You would not have anything. In the CW, don't worry about it. You lost your job, but you still got a mansion. You got like electricity. You have food. You buy clothes that cost $100 a pop. You can go on dates. You can take other people out. I mean, hell, look at Sophie on Batwoman. That girl has not worked in how long? She don't have a damn job. How the hell does she pay for her car insurance, her car? And here's Ryan's ass in the season finale. I'm waiting for you to take me on a date. With what? You don't get no damn money. Like, CW. It's a thing. Harry's been half-assing his white lighter duties. I mean, to be fair, though, this really is not out of the ordinary for him. Because even when it was Hasty, he was half-assing his white lighter duties. Buffy and Angel vibes. Yep. It was Buffy and Angel. And then, of course, our homage to Phoebe and Cole when they were demon slaying after Prue died. It was her best friend, not girlfriend, though her sexuality could still be anything. True. Like I said, though, your best friend could be in love with you. I'm not thinking Michaela has a thing for her. I'm wondering if Bryn has a thing for her. Because, you know how the queer tropes work. We fall for best friends that are straight or whatever. I'm assuming, though, that Michaela is going to be bi. So then we'll have Mel, basically Mel, who is portraying full lesbian. And then we'll have, although I'm going to say this, guys, I love Mel, but does anybody seem like when Mel's actress is doing like queer scenes, because I don't think she actually is queer in real life. I think she's married and has a baby, and she's married to a man. But doesn't it seem like she just is really uncomfortable with making out with women? I don't know if it's just me. It's just something that I noticed. I don't know. It's just something that kind of struck me when I was watching the scenes today. I'm like, when she was making out with the club girl. Now, to be fair, she could have just been like really half-assing it, but because she's grieving. But it just seemed like she's kind of like, I'm gonna make out with another bitch. Like, let's go try and make this believable. And it didn't seem really natural to me. I'm just putting it out there. Little Fuzzy Lumpkins was not playing with those teeth. yeah, little Tribble was not messing around. I like Michaela's personality and character, but I just don't like the power. I need more time with her. I get it. Manifestation is not everybody's cup of tea. I'm just glad that it's not something stupid, because it could have been a lot worse. I think Macy gave her the dreams, though. I think that Macy is their new guardian, and they don't realize it yet. Harry's in his Wesley Wyndham Prize phase. He even has the outfit. Yeah, he's not doing well at all. Well, the white lighter creation spell transfers maggots to humans upon death, which also lines up. It might just be semantics, like with Paige, where she wasn't a white lighter technically until season 7. True, but to be fair, her dad was Sam, and he was a whole white lighter, so she actually was half white lighter. And it's going to be different with Jordan. I don't know how Jordan got the healing ability of a white lighter without being a white lighter, and he obviously can't teleport. So I don't know. I mean, it could be that when he got hit, it just amplifies one of your greatest assets. And he is a medic, essentially a healer. He also is the one that everybody comes to as a therapist in that house when he's at the charmed house. So technically speaking, if you're going to be amplified by your persona or your personality or your biggest asset, healing would definitely be something I would see for Jordan. So I don't know, maybe just took it and amplified it. If he was like, I don't know, a serial cheater, he'd be like something completely different. So I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of question marks about Jordan and where they're going with that. She might be related to her, says Maggie. I swear to God, if she is another secret sister, I was Mel out with summon Marisol and slap her ghostly face. Yeah, I'd be like, Mama, we need to talk. I mean, I think that I was ghosting all those women because I have your genes. What did you do to me? But why can't you keep your legs shut? Joey said on Twitter that Michaela Demso is bisexual, so I wonder if she's dating at all. If so, that's going to be interesting. Will she tell her girlfriend or boyfriend that she's a witch? I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I also don't like Michaela's power. It's definitely new. Hi, Dee Marie. How are you? Let's see here. I hope she is a sister. The show would be weird if she's not. And see, this is where I have to be real here. The only way she could be a sister is if she's Marisol's daughter, because she can't be a sister to both of them. They have different daddies. So it's going to be weird if she ended up being like Dexter's child or Ray's child with another magical whatever, because then she would inevitably not be related to one of the other sisters. And that's just very weird. So it would have to be Marisol's daughter. And I just don't like that. And I get it, because we're so used to OG Charmed and we're so used to seeing the sisterhood lore. They even mention it at the end of this episode. Mel's like, it's just really strange because our history is Charmed ones have always been sisters. So without having that sisterhood, which I guess they'll just say you could have a sisterhood being friends, the women, they're sisters. And everybody's related, everybody is like 23andMe. My great ancestor is also yours. So it's essentially we're related anyway. So they can always play with that trope. But like, I feel like having Marisol have another damn baby that she hid is just going to make this woman the worst fucking woman, in the whole Charmed universe, because she could not keep her legs shut. She couldn't keep her legs shut. And with Macy, at least we understood why she, gave her to Dexter, because she would die if she was around the baby. But this one, I have no idea. Why would she give this one away? I don't get it. So unless she just cheated on Ray again, and, this was another, F up in her attempt at hiding it. And then that's going to make her, again, a very horrible person. Because we've already established in the Charm universe, especially where Mel and Maggie are concerned, cheating is genetic. Because Maggie cheated on what's-her-face when she went after Parker. And Mel cheated with Nico on Nico's fiance. So cheating is not... I'm going to say it again, is not seen as bad on Charmed. And if you watch some other CW shows, especially in the Arrowverse, cheating is not seen as bad, almost basically for a lot of characters, only a couple of times. But for the most part, it's just not really seen a really bad thing, and there's not really a lasting effect. So I don't know what it is, but Charmed has really shown me that, cheating's not bad. And I don't believe that shit, but, apparently, Marisol started the mold. I don't know. It's weird. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Kayla's power and the interesting ways that it can be used. Yeah, I don't think it's limited to just sketching and her art. I think that she's very creative, and she's going to use that outlet probably a lot for her powers. But I don't know. I think it's very time consuming to be like, hold up, I'm going to draw something to stop you. Like, really? I sketch. My spouse sketches, that is a process. So, I mean, you want me to draw a detailed sketch for you, and I got 2 minutes before you throw a fireball at me. That is not going to fly. So, just throwing it out there. Kyla equals Mrs. Frizzle. Yeah, that's true. I saw the clocks drawn around Mel as well in Michaela's drawings. Yeah, I saw that too. I think there's a lot of little Easter eggs we weren't paying attention to in that. Like, she drew a demon in the very first part of the sketchbook. I need to go back and look at it too. But I didn't because I'm tired, so I probably will look at that later. Michaela quite literally almost runs into them. Interesting meeting. It was a pretty, I mean, as far as meeting though, that was actually pretty cool. Freya Michelson should have been the third charm one. I mean, a lot of people were in their feelings that Josefina wasn't the third charm one because she's already a cousin, so she's technically family. But, you know, again, I think that the CW did not want to, they want to show that they support transgenders, but they don't want to put them in a position to be seen as a female charmed one because they don't want to have that backlash or that drama. So in retrospect, are you really supporting it if you have limitations, I guess is what I'm saying. But yeah, whatever. I hope that she keeps the bus. It feels like it's interesting part of her character. But it also seems like they took it from Batwoman. They're like, Ryan lives in a van. She can live in a school bus, the magic school bus. Unless that bus is like Kit from Knight Rider, I don't want to hear it. I think it's that I'm not used to manifestation powers, but I'm excited to see what they do with it. And I mean, it has potential, and really, it's kind of OP if you really think about it. Because if she gets to a point where she just thinks, you know how Paige would call stuff to her, she literally can just make it happen, like in existence, like iPad's just there. I mean, I have, you know, I got a winning lottery ticket. Bam, it's right there. There's not really, it's kind of bad because I don't really see a limit to this ability. So I don't know how they're going to play with that. That's kind of like a double-edged sword for a writer, because if you give somebody a manifestation power that is really, really OP, then why do you need the charm ones? Like, she literally could just like basically manifest people in different locations. She can manifest demons just to die. She can manifest anything. You don't need to teleport. You don't need to use the command center to get anywhere, because can't you just manifest yourself there? You know, we're in Puerto Rico. We're in Mexico City. I mean, it depends on how they use it. So they might just limit it to her art. But again, that's going to make me feel weird that if they're in the middle of like a time crunch, how is she going to have time to sketch something? Like, now, I'm going to have to suspend my disbelief that she haul ass drew a sword that fast, you know, a detailed sword. So I don't know. It's a thing. Why would any witch even touch an unknown apple? Hello, sleeping curse. Thank you. When she picked that apple up, I said, you better not fucking bite that apple. And she picked that damn apple. I was like, what is wrong with you, girl? Like, I taught you better than that. Like, I was in my feelings. This episode gave me so many season 1 vibes. It did. Hang on, guys. I'm going to turn my fan on because, you know, we having ourselves our own personal summer in this room. But yes, I absolutely agree. And I am super pumped if we're going to have magical creatures shown every week and maybe magical villains of the week. I will be so effing excited. And since we have the Blue Camellia now, we actually have potential for this, because we can see a lot of people in the club messing up. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that could be a thing. I do wonder if Mel's going to have a new love interest. I wonder. I love Freya Michelson is too advanced for them. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Will you be doing a stream with Eloy? Yeah. We normally do streams together. I just got to get with his schedule. Our timing, and with like some of my other YouTube friends, it's always a timing thing. And it's normally my fault. So it's just that I got so much shit going on. So I essentially am always busy with something that I'm trying to work my collabs around other people. Like even me and Groove, I believe, are going to be doing a trash comic duo episode on two issues of The Flash that are just damn right silly. And I said issues, not episodes, the comics. We're doing a trash comic, and then we're aiming for next Saturday. So that's something to look for in the community tab. But I mean, it took a lot to plan that because we were trying to match our schedules up. So he got a new job, or he's starting a new job, so his schedule's completely changed and my schedule's different. So like it's been a thing. But yeah, me and Eloy normally do streams together on Charmed. I do not see this being, and we're still in contact with each other, so I don't foresee this being any different. I'll actually reach out to him because I usually watch the episode before he does. He actually watches them normally the next day. So he'll record it on his DVR and then he'll watch it like on Saturday. Since now it's Friday, he'll probably watch it tomorrow, or if it's a family thing, he'll watch it on Sunday. So it just depends on when he decides to do a stream. But I always do my streams the night of because I like to do it when it's fresh in my mind so I don't miss anything. I can't always do that with every show, but I make a point of doing it with Charmed because Charmed is one of the shows that I've always speculated about the most on my channel. I think another show would be Motherland Fort Salem will be the other one that I'm kind of like always. Both witch shows, obviously, are the two that I really, really get into. I'm into a lot of stuff though. I love Picard. I'm really digging Picard right now. I actually like most of the Star Trek universe. I've been following Discovery, the newest season. I'm actually enjoying it tremendously. I just haven't talked about it. So there's a lot of shows that I'm watching that I have not had a chance to review. So they're coming. So just bear with me. It's just a lot. And if you guys have seen this series on Amazon called Upload, season 2 just dropped today too. So they're always dropping shows and I'm always trying to find time to effing watch them. So it's a thing. It is absolutely a thing. So yeah, it all comes down to timing. That is my whole, I guess, convoluted response to that. That yes, I do plan on doing stuff with Eloy. I think that her dad seemed to be the most spiritual of all her dads. At least Marisol had that with one of the dudes. I don't even know about like in the OG Charm, we had Penny. So their grandmother's name was Penny. So we just got to see other grandparents. We don't know what's going on with their grandparents for these girls, for the viewers. I mean, we know that obviously Josefina has a family, but they haven't met anybody else besides Josefina. Like nobody else has come from Puerto Rico to meet them, which I think is stupid. Like, especially since Marisol is dead. Why wouldn't you come meet her daughters? Because they knew nothing of this family in Puerto Rico. So I just find that interesting. And where the hell is Ray? I got questions. Harry really over there doing a deep dive on the poor girl. Yeah, he was like, I'm going to prove this bitch ain't a charm one. I'm like, yeah, all you really did was prove that she was. What's wrong with drinking before 11 a.m.? Nothing in my book says there is never a bad or good hour to take a drink. I mean, that is true. It's just like people that say you can't eat breakfast for dinner. I don't understand this logic at all. 1995 would make her older than Maggie. Yeah, actually, that's very true, which means that Maggie technically would still be the baby. She is a year older than my daughter because my daughter's birthday is in September of 96. So she'd already be 26. So yeah, but I love that she's a Sagittarius. Makes sense because we're creative people. So it makes absolute sense. And we talk a lot of crap. So it's a thing. I think Jane Doe's mother could have been the guardian. She created Michaela and dropped her off at the station. That's her mama. When you said created, what you mean? Because the guardian actually was, I thought, a previous Charmed one. Wouldn't it be interesting? Hear me out. What if she really is a former Charm one that was reborn as a baby and she was the guardian's sister in the Guardian's Charmed group? That would be freaking cool. Probably won't happen though. Probably won't happen though. I think Maggie was born in 1999 or 2000. Yeah, she needs a co-signer. So that's either a money thing or more than likely that's a money thing though, because she don't have 3 times the rent. Does Maggie didn't have a job anymore, right? She was the manager of Safe Space, but she doesn't have a job anymore, right? She started just being a full-time student, I thought. I have to look into that. I think they're leaving Kayla's past a mystery for now. I can see that. I mean, do you blame them in their own personal relationship? I blame everybody. Maggie was born June 2000. Okay, yeah, so that would make her still the baby. Interesting. I hate that part about the CW, but I think the child storyline died with the last showrunners. They just love dropping people off at a fire station. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Alternate universe sister somehow. Someone came from a different timeline and dropped her off because the charm ones were going to need her. I mean, I'm all like I said, if you watch my last theory video, one of my top 3 is she's from a different reality or timeline. And she had like a whole Naomi thing going on, but I don't know if they're going to follow that. And again, she could actually be Harry and Macy's baby that was basically carried by Mel when she was a surrogate. I just don't want it to be something simple. I don't want it to be Maricel screwed another guy and then she lost the baby. Maybe she couldn't find the baby. Maybe the daddy took the baby and didn't want it and dropped the baby off at the fire station and ran away. I don't know. Or maybe she's Ryan Wilder's other sister that Jada Jet gave up and it's at another fire station. I don't know. I just think it's stupid. I don't want it to be really dumb. I don't want them to, if they tell me that this is Marisol's other daughter, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna be in here like, guys, this is some bullshit, because they said that they weren't gonna do it. But to be fair, showrunners do lie sometimes. But they said that they were not gonna use Marisol as a scapegoat. So I want them to follow through with that. So that means she has to have a different and original, and I'm gonna say it again, an original origin story. And so I need to know what it is and why she's connected to them. Just thinking. I like that they are calming down and making the magic small and limited again. I just want them to show us Mel's power. It's really irritating me. I think she's either Ray's or Dexter's daughter. But then what? I really don't feel like Dexter would have gave her up. I don't feel like if he had another kid, I do not think he would have gave that child up. And now Ray's a traveling man. Like, I mean, to be fair, but then that would make her and Maggie once again sisters, and then Mel's the odd one out once again. No. If it was Ray, no, it'd be Maggie. It wouldn't be her sister. It would be Mel and her sisters, and Maggie would be the one that was the odd one out. So yeah, that tracks. It'd still be really weird. It would be very, very weird. It would be like when Macy was kind of bitchy in that one scene, and it's like, well, me and this paper proves that Maggie, me and you are whole sisters, and yeah, you guys are just half. I was like, damn. I mean that's their whole family is dysfunctional. That doesn't make her magical then. Well, it would make her magical if Ray hooked up with another magical person, because we know that he was collecting magical artifacts, so he was in bed with magical people. So we can't rule that out, but I don't want that to be the case, because I think that's stupid. So it doesn't explain why she would just be the sister of Mel and not the sister of Maggie. So that would be very odd. Even though season 1, the girls were so OP that they probably could have took the season 8 OG. Season 1, they were definitely at season 4 power level at least. True. I don't know. Like I said, I need to know what their powers are doing right now. We have not seen this yet. I need to know. We know that Maggie still has her weird inception abilities, but I want to know if Mel, because when she was pregnant, she was able to stop time. Is she a time witch again? Or is she still channeling her freaking, Elsa Freeze powers and Human Torch, freaking fire abilities? Because I always thought that was stupid. But it is what it is. I'm thinking that they might have dated another witch. I'm sure all of them have. Let me, 1 second, guys. Block. All right, let's see. I wonder if we'll see the other magical creatures from season 1. I would love it. I want to see Wendigos. I want to see, like, succubuses, like, all of it. I mean, hell, that Medusa episode was one of my favorite ones from season 1. I don't know if we're ever going to have that again. It's just going to be weird. A twin sister. I mean, I can see her and Macy being fraternal twins in a way. But again, why would Dexter get rid of her? Because just because Marisol couldn't be around the baby doesn't mean that she couldn't be around. And then she probably would not have been if she didn't die and when she was a baby, then there would be no reason for Marisol to have given her away. And quite frankly, I don't think she could be Macy's, because the timing would be weird. She was born in 1995, and I'm pretty sure because Macy was in her 30s, she was a lot older than that, like maybe 89, 88 or something like that. So they weren't even born in the same year. So, but she could be a twin sister to to the Guardian, I guess, a fraternal twin to her, and then she could have been part of that power set. And then maybe she's the one that died, and then she was reincarnated. That would be really cool, actually. That would be another good theory. She really is a charm one from the Guardian's power set who was reincarnated, and that makes her eligible to be a charm one because she was a charm one before. Which I did say something similar in my last one too. I just have to say that it was a charm one from a previous power group or charm group that lost their sister, or in this case, probably is the lost sister, and then she's reincarnated. There's lots of theories you can have, and they all have potential to be extremely cool. I forgot who said it yesterday, but somebody said that they thought that at some point Macy had donated bone marrow because, Kayla had cancer. And that maybe, because Macy's a scientist, maybe she donated, blood or a bone marrow, and maybe the bone marrow transferred to her and gave her power, which, I'm not opposed to. That's definitely an original concept. And that would be how she's connected, because she would have the bone marrow of Macy, who is their sister. But I don't know. I mean, to be fair, that it's very hard. I'm not extremely, knowledgeable about bone marrow. I do know that my mother had leukemia, and she would have to have a lot of transfusions, and bone marrow surgery didn't work for her. And so I do know in retrospect, it produces white blood cells, and it basically helps build up your immunity. And when your bone marrow is compromised, then it's screwed. But I don't know what happens when you have a magical bone marrow. Does it just not just make you have, rejuvenated white blood cells? Does it give you magical cells? I mean, how does that work? And then if that's the case, then wouldn't she be part demon too? Because technically, if that's happened, and Macy still had her demon powers and her demon blood, wouldn't that mean that she would have got both, and she'd be part demon as well? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you can question mark on that. But I mean, I like the concept. I just don't know how that would work. But just a thing. Yes, Monster of the Week is a better format. I absolutely agree with that. The ending made this seem like a horror show, which I enjoyed. I hope the Tally Man is generally scary. As long as he doesn't like Slender Man, I'm good. When he starts looking like Slender Man, I'm out. If she were with Dexter, from the look, most likely, but I doubt, because that would mean Marisol gave away 2 babies and had 3 babies with Dexter, but married Ray and had him raise it. Well, to be fair though, it could have been Ray was the daddy, and then the mother could have been, Ghanaian or anything else. So just because the daddy's not black doesn't mean that the mother couldn't have been black. Just throwing it out there. But I still don't think it's Ray or Dexter. I don't. I think she was at so-so with being a witch, but the bad evil would have me walking. Yeah. When my negative space started to attack me. But to be fair though, I guess I kind of would have been like, wait, I did this from a picture. What if I went home and did this to my friends? Tell me how not to do this before I leave, because she doesn't know how to use her power, and then she has this power. So obviously it's going to mess with her. I don't know. One of the showrunners kind of teased that she will get her time powers back. Well, I mean, so what has she got now? Mel is no longer a time witch. She's a molecular witch, which I hate. I'm not going to lie to you. I flippin' hate her powers. I thought you said Elsa and Human Torch last time. I did. Elsa, freeze powers, Human Torch, firepower. Yeah, I did. I actually can complain her to Firestorm as well, because Firestorm also has that ability. I'm a comic book person, so I can throw out references all day with fire and ice abilities. I think it's better if they do the different timeline thing. I love the different timeline thing, but again, I still would not hate her being a reincarnated former charm one from a previous sister group. I think that would be very cool. I read that she will get a power up as the eldest with Macy's death. I think her molecular control with advanced combustion. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Witch Piper should have advanced that power backwards than what she got. I think that her holding in all that grief is going to make her snap, and that's going to make her start blowing shit up because she's still not dealing with it. Let's hope Mel learned from the last time and accepted Kayla, unlike what happened with Macy when she first showed up, because Mel and Macy never really got past that. True, but I mean, and I like to call people out on this. It's really difficult when your mother just died and nobody believes you that she was murdered. And then this woman shows up and says, I think I'm your sister. So she did react to are you effing kidding me? But to be fair, she did apologize and she did try to make it up. And if you look at season 1 again, Macy was very hostile to her a lot longer than that one scene that Mel was hostile to her. Even down to her running the DNA, that whole episode where she finds out that Maggie's her full sister, and the way she told Mel was absolute bitchy. That was some catty shit right there. So I'm gonna say Mel was wrong for that, but Macy, she had moments where she was a straight up bitch. Even in the last season, when her and Mel were working on trying to figure out what was happening in the future and how she was talking to Mel and calling her, basically saying that she doesn't think things through and blah, blah, blah. She was being a bitch. So it's genetics. Sisters be like that, man. Speaking molecular combustion and then accelerating, she got in the comics. I have all of the Charm comics, so I could talk about that for a long time. I love the reversal of powers in that series. Mel can vibrate molecules too, which she hasn't done in a while. I love her original time witch abilities, and I want them back. The manifestation powers, OG Charm powers through projection that Kevin had before he became an elder, but it requires a conduit like the drawings. Projection is the ultimate power that Billy had. I wonder if it was funny that you mentioned Billy, because I guess people are going to start comparing her to Billy too. I just think it's going to be hard time-wise, but that's just me. Like if you're being chased by a demon, if you already have stuff drawn out before you go out there to just come to life or conjure, you're at a disadvantage in your power. So I don't know. I really hope they thought this through. They just didn't say, oh, this is cool, and then they actually didn't think about it realistically. I hope that she is Blackino, but if she is just Black, then I'm cool with that too. Justice for Macy and Shia Crew. I just want her to be mixed because she's mixed in real life. You know how my feelings are on that. I would love to have more roles for mixed people when we are mixed. I'm just throwing it out there. I hope non-Black people don't think we all live in vehicles at some point. Technically, I did for a year though. The POC LGBTQ Chronicles. LGBTQ plus will put a lot of people homeless. I understand that completely. Joe confirms she's bi. Maybe they're talking about cancer. They did mention her cancer a lot. I don't know. Like she thought she may have been getting it back. They haven't said what type of cancer she had, but she's having headaches and her friend was concerned. So I don't know. We'll see. And this is where Jordan's healing powers come into play. If she gets sick, well, and that's the thing though. Can white lighters heal cancer? I don't think they can. I hope as a queer person, they make a second sister queer too. I feel like it's too much and very rare it happens, but not like this often. I know if they do, they're going to say agenda because people like to scream because we just can't have too many of us running around. So I don't know. I think that might be an issue whenever I see they're just making agendas. Michaela is more of the lesbian trope than season 1 Mel. I'm telling you, Michaela to me actually seems more lesbian than Mel in general. I like when they're in the club and they're like, hide your women. And then you have Michaela looking and Mel's looking like, yep, I'm gay. I'm a lesbian. Ray Joey confirmed on Twitter that Michaela is bisexual. Okay. I'm glad you guys are letting me know that she is bisexual, guys. Because that's what I am. So I guess I'm bi or pan. I'm not really sure. Abigail, I miss her. I miss her so much. I really love her and her banter with Mel, and I really want her to come back. The synopsis in a future episode will discuss Mel's breakup with Ruby. It's just so sad. But at the same time, it's a U-Haul relationship. So really, if you start to see the woke words through at this show again, now they just walking into criticism. This does not represent me or the community I know with this. Unfortunately, you're going to see it. Yes, I miss Abigail too. I hope she legit goes both ways like Sarah, Constantine, and Abby. Yeah, I'm cool with that. Right now, the biggest test is to get her on board. And the only thing that I hate about it is they've already started to I'm starting to like the people in Philadelphia. Like even with Sal. Sal did not say that she was fired when Harry went to investigate her. He said that she was on vacation. So he kind of felt like she was coming back at some point. Or he was going to offer her the job back. But I want Bryn to be a part of her life. They don't have to date. It's just like the whole Spooner and Astra thing from Legends of Tomorrow. I love them as BFFs. I don't want her to have to get rid of her friend to start this whole other journey with them. because I want her to have her own life. The problem that I had with Paige is that Paige had her own life and she was trying to stick to this life. And then she got sucked into her sister's world. And then it's like all her friends and stuff. Occasionally we might see one person that would visit or whatever, or somebody she liked in the past. But it's like her whole life is just like non-existent after she became a charmed one. And I do not want to see that happen with this. I want to find a way for her to be able to still be, with her friend and be a charmed one at the same time, because she's going to be basically moving her entire life to Seattle. They were already asking her to move into the house. I'm like, damn. I thought that was at least 2 or 3 episodes from now. So I don't know. I didn't know regular people could buy buses. Yeah, you can buy a bus. You can buy a police car, all that stuff at auction. You can buy any kind of vehicle at an auction, as long as it's up for auction. Those two seem like they were together, which points to good chemistry. I thought that too. At least it kind of looked like Brynn was into her. So they definitely, I would not hate it. Let's put it that way. Kayla is my favorite. She's definitely working, because it was Mel, but I'm not going to lie. I'm actually starting to really like Michaela better. They work on Riverdale. Oh, Lord. At least in the OG Charm, they had jobs and spoke about financial issues. I do miss the show adding those normal life problems. Yeah, I mean, they were taking mortgages out on the house to pay for P3 and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, this one's like, we don't have a job, but I love that $300 shirt you got today, girl. I'm like, what? What? I'm like, that is not how that works. No, Mel's kissing scenes seem very weird and unnatural. Thank you. And I mean, maybe because we never really, okay, so in season 1, whenever she would make out with Nico was very dominant. So, she went in and kissed Mel. I feel like the problem is that Mel is in the dominant position. And maybe they're trying to either make it seem like she's submissive and being more dominant and she's not used to it, or her being the one that's coming on to the women is really showing the actress being uncomfortable kissing other women. Because if another one's kissing you, you just play off that. And I feel like Jada was definitely dominant. Nico was definitely dominant. We didn't really see a bunch of her and Ruby. But like her getting it on with all these women, this is where I'm looking and I'm like, you don't seem to really be into women in these scenes. And I know you're the one that's actually supposed to be the full lesbian of the show. So I'm really confused. So I don't know. I thought that was weird. This is coming from a queer perspective, guys, because, I don't have that problem. So I just, like I said, I don't understand that. So just throwing it out there. I think she was most comfortable on screen with Nico, but I have to go look back again. Yeah, because Nico was the one that always went after her and made out with her. It was more like she initiated. So she was the more dominant one. And so I think that since Mel's in the dominant role, I don't know, maybe the actress doesn't get it. I don't know, but she looks so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. And I'm wondering if maybe to play devil's advocate, maybe she's thinking, man, don't give me COVID. Don't give me COVID. Don't give me COVID. I mean, I don't know. But to be fair, I would be really uncomfortable making out with women too. Just not natural. Shut up, Ray. Stop. Just stop. Stop. Even with Nico. It just feels forced. Yes. Question mark. Like she's like, okay, this is the scene where I have to be with a woman. I'm like, so stupid. Oh my Lord. Mel is going to need a power up to protect them. The power does give Kayla a leg up on Maggie power-wise. True. Joey Falco confirmed on Twitter that Kayla is bi and that Mel is 4 or 5 years older than her. Okay. She might have to retake the kissing scene a lot. Well, I mean, still. It really looked like she was like, oh, again. I wonder if the witches from the storyline thing intervened since he did good on his curse. Maybe they rewarded him for it. I don't know. I want to know, are we going to see more warlocks in this season? That'll be interesting. I really want to see warlocks in Charmed. Joey said we'll learn more about her bisexuality next episode. Interesting. Okay. Who is the new Charmed one? That would be Michaela Demso. They call her Kayla. And she has an M name, which is very interesting, question mark. But I am not claiming that Marisol is her mother. I'm glad Maggie getting the eggplant Friday is Friday. The eggplant Fridays finally. She hasn't had an oil change since that one time with Parker at the wedding from hell. Oh Lord. Like, what's wrong with you? that was a weird suit that Jordan was wearing, but it actually did work for him. It was very, but maybe he was going for, ethereal. He wanted to look wispy, like, because I mean, they're pixies. I don't know. He probably overthought it. He overthunk it. She's either gonna be half sister, which I hope rather be a full sister to one of them, which would look too bad. I just don't want her to be a sister. I'm sorry. I really don't. What is the new charm one's name? Her name is Michaela Demso, but she goes by Kayla. Your hair has gotten so long and gained so much volume. Looking good, sis. I think it's funny. My hair's been like, I cut my hair a lot. My hair's always been long. I've had long hair my whole life, but a lot of people were like on Instagram in my direct message, like they messaged me there, and they're like, your hair's not black. And I'm like, I've been telling people it's lighting. I had a white background. Now it's darker. You're seeing my natural hair. My hair is actually red is brown and has been this color basically my entire life. I've had red to reddish brown hair my entire life. I'm not opposed to dyeing my hair black. It just doesn't take. The red comes through. I don't know why. And then when my hair is naturally curly, when it's really curly, it's even redder. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I appreciate it. I grew it out myself. Genetics. Like, I don't know. It grows like weed. If I cut it, it'll start growing really quickly. Sorry, it tried to grow up. Okay, what if she's Maggie's twin? Then they got some splaining to do on that height. Like, that's a really drastic height difference. I guess that could happen though. I've never seen it, but it probably can happen. Having one, well, twins wasn't Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger twins in a movie, and like he was huge and he's short. Okay, but I mean, it would be hard because of their age difference, because Kayla was born in 1995 and we just established that Maggie was born in 2000, and I don't think Marisol held that baby in for 5 years. Like, that would be a long ass pregnancy. Macy cheated on Julian and Harry ghosted Abby. Thank you. Macy's a cheater too. I mean, it's in the family. It's in the family. And Harry cheated on his wife and had a whole ass family with another woman, and they talked about it for 5 minutes and never went back to it. Just saying. Cheating is not bad on CW. That's their motto. Dare to defy. You think it's talking about progression. It's talking about cheating. Dare to defy. I do wonder, hey, Kevin, I do wonder if maybe the writers cheated in their relationships and that's why they're trying to condone it. True that. That could be a thing, actually. We're over here joking because, I mean, even on Arrowverse, if you caught my stream yesterday, I talked about a character that cheated and then another character that cheated who's a daughter of this character. And it was kind of shown that not only did it she didn't have any consequences on it, her boyfriend apologized to her for not being there for her. And then she ended up calling the person she cheated on for advice. It's like, cheating don't matter. They don't look like twins. Yeah, I don't think they're twins. But I will say though, twins don't have to look alike. Jordan and Jonathan and Superman and Lois do not look alike at all. They're fraternal. So they could be fraternal twins. But when I say they could, I'm thinking the Guardian and Michaela could be fraternal twins, or she can be a reincarnation. I know that my daughter's theory is that Michaela is actually Macy, like has Macy's soul inside of her. And I'm like, I don't know, because why the mystery of the parents? But that was my daughter. So my daughter did say she thought that Macy is actually manifesting through her. That's my little daughter's theory. So we'll see if any of that comes to pass. I think she will learn to do it and with a lot of focus, but it's still going to take so much time for a demon battle. It's going to take a lot of time. If you guys do art or sketch at all, I don't care how good you are. I mean, to draw something realistic takes time. And I don't see how she's going to do that, to be honest with you. Unless part of her magical power means she's a speed drawer. So she's like a flash speed and bam. No, I don't foresee that being a thing. So. But what if she learns to not have to draw and just imagine it? That's what I think is going to happen. But again, I mean, because it's very limiting to only have it through art. Unless she has art precog dreams where she dreams she's going to need objects and then she draws them and then she goes out. That'll be really weird. It's like, Michaela, what'd you draw last night? This ball and chain. Why? Because I think I'm going to need it today. You know how my dreams roll. Like, it's just weird. And she's always going to have to carry a sketch pad with her. That would be really weird. If it's 10 episodes by episode 4, we might get answers, then time travel. True. T.S. Madison should play Michaela's adopted mom. I have to look at that. I don't know if I know T.S. Madison. I probably do, but I don't remember. Off topic, but Gotham Knights has announced a bisexual and trans character in their show. I saw that. I saw some casting on Superhero Hype. I'm just, if it has the same writers as Batwoman, it's just going to be hard for me, guys. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to watch the first 3 episodes. I just don't know if I'm going to stick with it because I got rid of Batwoman because I didn't like it. And I don't know if I'm going to like Gotham Knights. So we'll see. Exactly. At some point, her power will grow and she'll be able to make things appear. I think that's probably that'll be her power up, basically. Maybe her limit is needing to see this stuff, though. Maybe. But then she could also dream about stuff she hasn't seen because she had never seen Mel and Mace. You know what's interesting is that she saw them and then they appeared in Philadelphia. So maybe essentially she brought them there. I don't know. What if Marisol had an identical twin who's Michaela's mother, even though they'd be cousins, though genetically they'd be half sisters? I mean, so Marisol had a twin, or a fraternal twin. I guess because we don't know a lot about. We know that there's family in Puerto Rico, but we really don't know. So that I can't rule that out. Hopefully, she doesn't manifest a copy of her dead android boyfriend and then manifest a whole entire town to live in generational sitcoms. Okay, Wanda, she is not going to be Scarlet Witch. Who is Michaela? Merle, she is the new Charmed one. That's who she is. I keep hearing that I should avoid the new Star Trek stuff. I'm going to tell you to draw your own conclusions. The new season that we're in right now, I love a lot. I love what they're doing. But you're going to have old school Trekkies, and I'm an old school Trekkie. I've been watching Star Trek since I was like 8. And I don't think I've not seen a season of Star Trek or movie of Star Trek at this point. But again, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because they're doing their own stuff. And a lot of people don't understand the difference with the Kelvin timeline. So, I mean, it's just a bunch of stuff. When Abrams took over and rebooted Star Trek, it was essentially a new timeline. And if you're not somebody who likes that trope, if you're not somebody who likes multiverses or multiple timelines like in comics, then you may not like Star Trek. But if you open your mind and see it as a different entity, then maybe you will. It's a different thing. And like, that's why I tell people, I don't ever give a crap what people say in terms of when they say, you can't watch this is shit. I make my own assumptions and I draw my own conclusions by watching it. And then if I watch it and I decide that I agree, then I say, yes, this is crap. If I say, you guys are just batshit crazy, then I'm going to call you out on it. So it is what it is. So I say, if you want to check it out, if you have Paramount Plus, check it out. See if you like it. And if not, no skin off your butt. That's basically how it looks. I mean, it's just what you like. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can, replace it with. Have you reviewed Outlander? I have not. I've only seen part of season 1. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Do you think ever fix the Book of Shadows? I mean, it was there. It had little tabs hanging out of it. She didn't touch the book, though. I noticed that, which is interesting. She did play with the Book of Elders for a second, but she didn't touch the Book of Shadows. In all fairness, Marisol did steal the family magical tome and left a bunch of witches in the lurch. That seems pretty dangerous for the main branch of the family. Yeah, but we later learned she did that to protect them because she knew they were coming for her kids. So there's that. The Guardians literally ghosts that are tethered or haunt the command center. True. I think that Macy's been playing around with some of the controls in there. She's going to send my sisters to Philadelphia. Well, she must be connected to Melinda Warren somehow. They have an episode coming up about Melinda Warren, I think. They should, because she was in the original Book of Shadows on the first page in the pilot episode of the season 1 trailer or series. So I've always wondered how they were related to Melinda Warren. I don't think it won't be anything astronomical with her origin. It will probably be something real, relatable, and progressive to the times. So we'll see. It just better not have the words Marisol in it. That's all I'm going to say. I honestly would love to have them be bold because they said it was going to be something that was never done. and being relatable and progressive to the times is something that has been done on another show. I'm quite sure, because if she's living in a damn bus, the only difference between that bus and that damn van with Ryan Wilder is that it's longer, like my spouse said. So, I mean, it's not new. It's pretty much taking an idea and just tweaking it a bit. So I need them to do something we have not seen. Follow through on that. Because if you don't, I'm going to call you out. It's just what I do on my channel. I'm just going to call you out on it. So it is a thing. But right now, I'm really happy with this episode. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. So I don't have anything really negative outside of things I nitpicked, like, Josefina biting that damn apple. That I don't even understand why she even thought to do that. She was going to a party. They were going to feed you. I'm like, why did you even think you needed to bite the apple? Like, why? Why? What possessed this? So unless the apple had magical MSG, there was no reason why you would be attracted to biting that damn apple. I would be more confused as to why there was an apple laying there. Like, why is there a whole ass apple right here? No, you don't bite shit. So, yeah, just saying. I digress. There is the research internship. What is the research internship? And what if, the one in the safe space and Macy's name or Macy's honor? I did see that in her when they had a picture of her at safe space. But again, who's running safe space? Please let it be Swan. What if she is Harry and Macy's daughter from the future or an alternate universe? See, that's what I said earlier. I know you might be a little bit late, but that's one of my theories, is that she is actually Harry and Macy's daughter. And when Macy was turning evil, she was pregnant and she gave her baby and she was turning. So she had Mel take the baby and carry it for her. That's what I think. I think it would be cool as shit if she ended up being their child, especially since he was so resistant. And if they start showing them bond, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he's getting over Macy and going to end up with her. And then they later find out that she's actually the daughter of Harry and Macy. I think that would be very cool. But that's just me. And if they're saying, well, she was born in 1995, it would mean actually that she may not have been born in 1995. She could have been dropped in 1995. Something could have happened. And, they ended up having to take her back, and maybe they miscalculated the timeline and they ended up bringing her back to that point. I mean, it could be a lot of reasons, but they knew she was going to have to replace her mom. So they needed her to age faster. So they brought her back to 1995. So she would be old enough to be a charm one when they needed her. There could be a lot to that. But I mean, that would be the perfect line for me. If we're not going to do an alternate universe, it would basically be that future that they tried to save when Macy basically became the evil one. And, Mel had to carry future Mel's baby. But instead of it being future Mel's baby, it was actually her being a surrogate for Macy, because Macy got infected and knew she was going to turn and didn't want her baby to be evil and gave the baby to Mel. Magically transferred it the same way that Mel transferred it to her older self. And then they knew that they were going to need a new charm one, and it had to be somebody in their Vera line. And then that's the daughter. That is my number one theory, that is what happened. I don't know if that's what happened, but that is what I think happened. If it is something that's not like that, and if it's something that's so simple, if it is Marisol, guys, I'm be in my damn feelings. I promise you, I will be in my feelings about this, because it'll be too damn stupid for me, for Marisol to have another damn love child. I can't handle it. But how could Mel carry Macy's baby since Macy already died years before? Because in the alternate timeline, before they changed the future, she didn't die. She became the evil. And remember, when they went to when they actually went forward in time, they saw that it was Macy hunting them. Where was Harry? Who knows? But all I'm saying is she could have been pregnant at that point in the future with Harry. They could have been married and pregnant, and she got infected. They said that Macy got infected, and that's how she became the evil. So to save her baby, I could see Macy saying, you have to take my baby, because you can't save me, at least save your niece or nephew, which we know is a niece, and then transfer the baby to Mel. And then Mel goes back in time and transfers the baby to Mel, past Mel, and they're surrogates. And so they've already shown that is possible, because future Mel gave past Mel the baby to keep for a while. So to me, I think that would be a really kick-ass way of adding that character's bio. And then the reason that she was born in or basically surrendered in 1995 is because she was from the future, and they knew that Macy was dying, or they knew that the new timeline was happening and that she died and they were going to need her. So they needed her to age faster. I think that would be very cool. I think that would be extremely cool. That, or her being from a charmed power set that, they lost a sister or lost her and she was reincarnated. So alternate timeline. Either of those would be very cool. I just, again, I don't want her to be Marisol's baby. That's all I care about. I hope it's something simple and honest. I really hope that what I just said about her being Macy and Harry's baby is what happened. and that would mean that Maggie and Mel are both her aunts. I think that would be really cool. The writers are trying to channel their own issue into the story with the fire station. I'm telling you, y'all know what's happening. That or they really don't like Station 19. Ryan Reynolds lied because he said he is definitely in Doctor Strange 2. I mean, did he say it as Deadpool? Because that tracks. Dexter would never give a kid up. Yep, other than the one time with Maggie. Well, to be fair, I don't know if he gave her up. I don't think either Marisol didn't tell him or she wouldn't let him see him because she was with Ray. I don't know they never really went into what happened with that. So, because at that point she thought Ray was her dad, and maybe Marisol didn't want to rock that boat, so she never told Dexter. She could have kept that from Dexter. I mean, she lied about a lot of shit. So, just saying. But Ray would sell a kid for $1. Oh Lord, like, no. Joey Falco said that episode 4 we call Divine Secrets of the OG Sisterhood. Maybe we will learn about the first set of charm ones, or maybe it's something related to Halliwell. It's probably going to be Melinda Warren, honestly. Joey also said that the Guardian will play a big role. Well, that's another theory that maybe she really is the sister of Michaela. And because all I know is the Guardian was a charmed one and her sisterhood got destroyed. So it would be interesting if she was either the sister that died and Michaela is part of her subset and doesn't remember it. There's a lot of reasons. But again, I really like the whole, her being Mace or Hasey's baby, basically, from the future. Mel's powers go beyond slowing molecules and accelerating. She can vibrate molecules as well. I just want her to be a time witch. I don't care about her doing anything with particles. I just want her time witch abilities back. I really do. I just hate her new powers. I hated them last season, and I don't like them this season. So that's just how I feel. Twin baby that was stolen that didn't know. Nah, Marisol would know. Yeah, she would know. Certificate could be tampered with. I mean, there really wasn't anything on it. It was just like Jane Doe parents, was born this day, surrendered. Hallelujah. Like literally, who named her? That wasn't on the birth certificate. Her name wasn't on there. And mine has my name. My daughter's has her name on it. So that's interesting. Everyone needs to put respect on Dexter's name. He's a good dad and an impressive lover from the looks of things. And Marisol running back a lot. Right. Oh my God. Yes, that could work. What if this actual reincarnation of Macy and the resurrected one that we met from the necromancer's magic mixed with the demons, they both group as simultaneously? I mean, that could be cool. She said 6 months ago she started having dreams. Maybe Macy died 6 months ago. What if the donated blood didn't activate it? Macy died. Macy as the Guardian activated it. Could be. I mean, the only problem that I have, again, she's 5 years in remission, which means she hasn't been treated for 5 years. And Macy's only been dead for 6 months. I'm not saying she couldn't have given that blood to her 5 years ago. But again, if she did do that, which by the way, she's in Philadelphia. And I think Macy was raised in New York or California. Definitely not Hillside. I don't know how she would have gotten this donation. And then if she did get said donation, why is it just kicking in now? So I don't know. There's a lot to that. That's kind of tricky for me. And then if she was donating her blood, would she not also become a demon or half demon or part demon? So it's a thing. Mel could slow molecules with another advancement of her powers like Piper could. Piper wasn't a time witch. She was actually a molecular witch like what Mel is now. Yeah. And which is why I liked Mel being a true time witch, the true definition of time witch. I love that. Macy is my girl, but she was a bitch just as much to Mel as she wrote time and took Mel out of their family. People forget that when she became the source, she sure as hell did. Not only did she take her out of the family, she took her to another damn state and made her a damn Uber driver or a Lyft driver. Now, thought projection and projection are two separate powers. Projection is super OP, like Scarlet Witch reality warping. Well, to be fair, Scarlet Witch is a Nexus being, so it's a whole other. She doesn't have projection power. She is a true reality warping witch. and a nexus being. They are on a completely different level than your standard, I guess OP projection powered, mutants or meta humans or whatever you want to call them. She's a separate beast. So what happens with Safe Space and the Shea Group? Did Macy leave that to the girls? That's what we're trying to figure out. They haven't said anything. And honestly, since they don't think about money, it may be a minute. I'm still wondering about Taryn. Me and you both. The new Charm one sounds similar to Phoebe's projection power in season 1 when she was possessed by the Woogie. I forgot about that. Oh, that was a cool episode. Technically, Maria, you would be pan, right? Because bi works in the binary as well. I've dated a lot of bi guys and trans guys. Yeah, because I don't really. Yeah, I guess the technical terminology would be pansexual. But growing up, because I'm a '90s kid, I'm in my 40s, we didn't have that terminology. So most of my life as a queer person, I've always said that I was bisexual. So it's forced to have. There's so many labels, guys. There's so many labels. There's so many labels. I love who I love. Get over it. That's what I'm saying. In all fairness, Phoebe was a deadbeat for first 3 seasons because she got a job and paid some bills and stopped stealing Prue's damn clothes. At least Paige was contracted so Piper could be a mom. But I will say this. That house was also hers. So it wasn't just Prue and Phoebe, Prue and Piper's house. That house was left to all 3 of them. So when they actually had to make decisions on the house, it should have been all 3 of their decisions, not just them. Because when they took a mortgage out, it literally had to be all of them agreeing on it. So she was a deadbeat, but she also owned part of Hallow Manor. So, and I would like to think that maybe Graham's left them some money because, remember, there was a time when Prue decided to be a photographer and just quit her job and she wasn't making anything. And Piper was struggling to make ends meet. She gave up on the restaurant and started opening, P3. She really wasn't making anything. She was actually putting more money into it. So they weren't making steady income at one point too. So it's a thing. It is a thing. Let's see here. She truly had the best chemistry with Abby. Yep. Wonder if they ever dated. Mel would look more natural. I just think that Abigail's Poppy, her actress, is just very good at bringing that out. Like the Shannara Chronicles, I think that she had a few gay scenes or lesbian scenes in that too. So she's used to it. Mel's 2 years older since she was born in 1993 and Kayla in 1995, like me. Aww. I remember 26. That was a great time. That was almost 20 years ago though. So I miss those days. Taryn was just a filler name for Michaela so that her real name didn't get released before the premiere. Well, we all said it had to be an M name. What is Kayla is the mother to Mel's baby in the future side timeline? You mean what if Kayla is the mother to Mel's baby? No. I could Maria in the same clothes as a priestess. You give Major Kaide in like 30 years. I know. As long as I'm not Kaide now, that's all I care about. The reboot took awful people with a good deed versus the OG, where white lighters had to basically be saints to transform from human to angel-like beings. So like the elders in the OG series, they could be problematic. I mean, look at Gideon. But also, if you really think about it, like there was a lot of politics and stuff with the elders, and I'm really glad we don't really have that now, because I feel like we would spend even more time on focusing on Harry than on everything else. I am so glad that it was not the Harry show, because I said I was so worried about being Harry and his witches. Now jury's still out. We still got to get through more episodes, but right now he's not the focus, and that's making me happy. But that doesn't mean they're not going to do it. And I think that'll really irritate me if they keep giving Harry all the shit to do, because Macy is not around anymore. Be a support character like Jordan. Stay in your lane and let the main characters do their shit. That's how I feel about that. Do not spotlight this man anymore. Macy is not dead as the Guardian. It's like on Angel from Buffyverse when Cordelia ascended to a higher power and never came back. Well, she had like one episode where she came back. Technically, Michaela is basically loose from the outhouse, but I don't think Kayla is a precog. I think it was her inner witch reacting to her charm destiny like the lost witch spell Piper cast to find. I love the outhouse. I'm glad it's coming back next Saturday, but I'm in my feelings because this is the last season. And, I don't know. I think Michaela's got a different story than Luce. Luce is accidentally. Well, I won't say accidentally because we actually have no idea. We kind of feel like she has relatives in the Boiling Isles, but that's a whole other conversation. They're definitely going to have to place a limit on her manifesting power. I would be cool if Emerson had a twin and she is the offspring. I've only seen the J.J. Abrams stuff and Lower Decks. Yeah, you have to go back to OG Captain Kirk. That generation. Enterprise was my favorite, then Voyager, a separate show. Andromeda, I love Andromeda. It's my favorite. I do like our generation Star Wars saga though as well. A bit off topic, but do you think the Charmed Ones has any type of chance against Marvel characters like Doctor Strange and Wanda? No. Hell no. The Power 3 would die. Like, stay in your world. Don't work anywhere else. I'm like, they would die. They would die. Anyone playing Elden Ring? I am not. My daughter probably is, though. You say screw your entire family so you can protect your not born yet kids and your immediate soon-to-be family. I will tell you, the writing on the show for season 2 and 3 is very believable in that statement. So I'm just putting it out there. It was a very good show tonight because the plot said so. Have you ever seen these rent prices and inflation bring on the damn bus with my Wi-Fi? How's she paying for Wi-Fi? Macy was a demon in future Mel's future, and the whispering evil started taking over an alternate present. So Harry and Macy were still just a beginning thing when they wrote. And I don't think so, though. I think that they were a lot further because if you saw where Abigail was actually one of Mel's main generals, and then obviously hinting towards they were a thing, I think they were a lot further in the future. They didn't spend any time whatsoever talking about Hasty in the future. So quite frankly, anything could have happened. They had a whole gap because the only thing we ever saw was we went back to the house in the attic and they saw like the Mel was trying to figure out a cure and all this crap, but we never focused on anything else other than the fact that Macy got infected. And that apparently Abigail had to kill Maggie. I think it was Maggie she ended up killing in the future. So like I feel like there's definitely room to make that a reality. The internship Maggie has with Antonio. I wonder if Antonio's gone for good. Probably. I think everybody's gone, even though Mel is still a teacher or a adjunct professor. I think that we're probably not going to see any of her people anymore from the last season. I cannot wait what they're going to do with the new charm, Michaela. I'm definitely, her and Jordan's storylines, I think, are the ones I'm most excited about right now. How close in age is she to Mel? It looks like 3 to 4 years apart. So she's 3 to 4 years younger. Was Charity wrong? I mean, Macy was part upper level demon, the source, and then an ancient demonic force in the alternate timeline as well. Justice for Charity. It's how she went about it. And, she accidentally killed their mom. So there's that. Mel was the only effective Vera sister alive in her future with the baby. I mean, and it's why I think she was caring for her sister. I think she was carrying that kid. But we can speculate anything because, again, they didn't have to explain anything to us. And if you watched my review of that episode, I was in my feelings about how they resolved it because it was kind of stupid. So it was like they were not trying. But if you want to know how I felt about the episode in season 3, just go watch my season 3 reviews. You will see exactly how I felt about that particular story. That would be great. And they get to have something from Macy with them. Yep. I think Dexter didn't know about Maggie, at least at first. I'm pretty damn sure Marisol did not tell him because she lied to everybody. She kept stuff from everybody. So yeah, I think I'm almost 100% certain that Dexter didn't know Maggie was his kid. I think all Guardians were former Charmed ones. That tracks. Maybe the magic from the transfusion didn't activate until Macy's death, but I truly believe Michaela's family is important to the story from them highlighting it. So I don't think she is Macy. I don't think she's Macy either. I honestly think that she has her own set of parents, but they could be Hasty. I'm just saying. And like I said, until they reveal it, it is what it is. Projection is reality warping. Billy wasn't as powerful with it as Wanda or Franklin or Molecule Man. Projection, yes. I mean, I don't want to debate this right now, but I will say that technically speaking, though, if you go back and look at Wanda in the past comics, especially in the early Avengers years, her power is not just projection. I mean, she is from force of will, not only manipulating reality, but creating other realities. And that's a different power set. This is something that a lot of people in the comics debate a lot about her. It's one of the reasons that I get irritated talking about Scarlet Witch, because she is OP and she is a Nexus, being, and there is a Nexus bridge and there are other Nexus beings and they all have different abilities. But I really feel like her core power is not that she's projecting. Her core power is that she's literally rewriting shit. Like she's like, I don't like this, so therefore it is no longer in existence. That is completely different. So she has a different power set than a lot. So I'm seeing somebody said something and it went away. I don't know what it was. Somebody asked a question, and for some reason, I don't know if you said something that Google blocked. So if it's something you want them to answer, just put that back in. It was after or right before on the terminology that Ray just said. I literally just saw Google like block this post. So I didn't see anything bad, but I don't know. Maybe she can have abilities like Abigail's mother, and the manifestation ability is just the early phases of the power. Maybe a mix between Paige and Abigail's mom's power. That'd be cool. That would be cool. Labels evolve with the times. I know. There's so many labels. Could Michaela be like an astral projection and maybe think of things that she could imagine to bring in her mind somehow? That's still dangerous, because like I feel like if she just did like astral projection, her body would be vulnerable. She has an active ability in a way, but I feel like if they just limit it to her art, she's very vulnerable. She's OP and vulnerable at the same time, because it requires speed and knowledge of what you need to project. And I just think that's going to be very challenging. The manor was a major bill, so Piper and Prue should have had the only votes on that property in San Francisco. Should have, but it still belonged to all three, whether Phoebe had a job or not. It was left to all three of them. Did Penny ever have a job? I'm assuming she retired from something. We have to go back and look and see what her actual job was. I know that she was married. Maybe she got money from her husband. Like, I don't know. I know Patty was a waitress, but I don't know what Penny did. Prue was a very successful freelance photographer, but not at first. At first, remember, she had issues with her new boss. She wasn't getting any assignments. And she was trying to impress him, and she wasn't. They even talked about the fact that she wasn't making the money that she was making at the museum. So I remember that episode. I hope Ruby comes back so she and Mel can finally be together. I don't know. Ruby's boring. I like her. She's pretty, but I just think that she and Mel are boring together. I hope they do not do the Harry show like the last season. It needs to be about the charm ones. I absolutely agree with that. I think that Luce and Amity storyline killed the outhouse, and I am mad about it. Which one? Oh, because they airbrush Amity out all the time. So Lumity is not even a thing in other countries. Don't get me started on that. Seriously, I love Luce and Amity, but it's still Disney and Cartoon Network. Let it pass with Steven Universe. Like I said, don't get me started on Disney and how they're only Pride friendly when they want to make money during Pride Month. How far apart are Mel and Maggie in age? Where does Kayla fit in? So Mel and Maggie are 5 years apart, I believe. No. 7 years apart, I think. I think Mel was 7 when Maggie was born. And Kayla right now, she's the new charm one. She has not found her place technically yet. So that last part of that question is a question mark. We're still trying to figure that out. I wonder if Kayla's powers will be something similar to Nico Minora with the negative side effect. That would be interesting. That's the ultimate personal gain trope right there, I guess. Would you sacrifice an elder for the entire planet? Because this is an easy decision militarily. I mean, maybe. Are you into the Adventures and X-Men? I've seen X-Men and I've read X-Men for years. I'm not sure if I understand the question. Maria, we need a separate space so we can nerd out and debate this power definition thing. And let's start with Wanda. Yeah, we'll do it when I'm more awake. Like, that's fine. Are you into X-Men or the Avengers? Both. And the Justice League, Justice Society of America. I mean, there's so many teams that I'm into. Young Justice, Young Avengers, West Coast Avengers, LA Avengers, Justice League of China, the Tribunal. I mean, it would be cool if they have a power of four with Mel, Maggie, Macy, and Michaela. I mean, technically, Michaela's the fourth charm one. She's not the third. She's the fourth. When Josefina ate the apple, it reminds me of 5-3 and OG Charm when Paige turned into Sleeping Beauty and ate the poison. Yeah, I don't know why they have to do this. Stop biting shit. It don't belong to you. See, that's the problem. Nobody taught them not to touch other people's stuff. Because how does she know that that wasn't somebody's lunch? I mean, that doesn't mean biting random apples. Astral projection is completely different power. That's like comparing the kid from Insidious to Jericho from Titans. Astral projection, thought projection, and projection are three complete. Yeah, they're all different. I just feel like astral projection, though, would make her vulnerable. At first, she had her issues with her ex-fiance, and Prue used to work at Buckland, and I don't think they ever mentioned what Penny used to do, but she used to be married a whole bunch of times. Yeah, we saw her true love. Remember when Paige put on her boots from when she was younger and then ended up back in the 60s, and she got to meet her grandfather and like basically her grandfather and Penny when they were younger and in love and high. Projection power versus conjuring power from OG. I do like the Neptune and Uranus storyline as lovers. They are way better and make more sense than the American ones where they were like sisters. They made them cousins. But they didn't edit the dialogue, which made them incestual. So it was really stupid. I love the X-Men anime, but I love the 90s X-Men. Yeah, I love the comics. I love the 90s original X-Men series. X-Men, what was it called? Oh, well, it wasn't X-Men Unlimited, was it? I can't remember. It's the one where they introduced Rogue, and she was basically, it's almost the same as when Singer brought Rogue in as Jubilee. It's almost the same trope in the cartoon. I didn't mind it, but it did get on my nerves. I have to remember that. I don't remember the name of the cartoon though. X-Men easily over Adventures and Justice League. I like them all. By the way, Jericho has the power of possession. But for Paige, the apple was enchanted. And I think those boots were another Penny charm object, like the ring that got Phoebe and made her succumb. Yeah, it was. I think it was something like for her to always remember where she came from. It was something weird, cheesy like that. And then Paige tried them on because she thought they were groovy and ended up being transported back to the 60s where she got to meet younger Penny and her granddad, which I think they did that more because Paige had no real connection to the Hallowell family. She wasn't even on the Hallowell family tree. When they would look at the scroll, the tree that they had, family tree, she wasn't even on it. So it's a thing. All right, guys, I just got through everybody's comments. I am so excited about my life right now, especially since that means I get to go to bed. Like, I'm tired. It has been a long day. It is almost 10:30 my time, Central Standard Time, and we've been at this for almost 2 hours. But I am so happy that we had a successful season 1 because I was worried about it. I didn't know how this was going to play out, and I'm happy that they actually did what they did. Michaela is a very cool character. I will say I think they described her as a breath of fresh air, and I kind of feel that way. I feel like she is revitalizing the show. She's bringing new life to it. I just wanted them to keep that going. I'm still in my feelings about her if she really is living on a bus. I'm just putting it out there and being left at a fire station because we've already seen this done in an Arrowverse show. So that's something I need them to stop copying. Do not copy these other shows. Do your own shit. But outside of that, as long as they keep this trajectory going, we start getting our magical, beings of the week or demons of the week. And it's not Harry and his magical witches, then I'm completely okay. And then we're just going to enjoy the theories and the journey to discovering who the heck Michaela actually is. That's the end game. We want to know what this is, what is going on with her, and we want to know what's going on with Jordan because Jordan has piqued my interest. So it is a thing. But all right, I'm about to cut this short, but I will be back tomorrow morning. So you guys will be first in line, I hope, for my Yashahime review. Sorry I did not post Kung Fu. I will post it tomorrow. So the season 2 premiere for Kung Fu that I recorded a video for will be tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon. So be on the lookout for that as well. And if it is day for you guys, have a good day. If it is evening for you, have a very good evening. And I will see you in the next stream.